Physicals to look forward to in 2024. Now, I've talked about the big hitters, I've talked about the imports, I've talked about the JRPGs, but what about the small stuff, the ones that actually need a bit of publicity, a little bit of a showcase? This is just a nice selection of games confirmed for physical releases in 2024. It's not every single one of them, just a nice selection. For this one, there's definitely no crossover between the previous videos, so no Princess Peach, no Unicorn Overlord. Watch the other videos for the full picture. Let's jump in. Blasphemous 2 already has a physical release, a standard retail release, but did you know that in March, Blasphemous 2 is getting a re-release with a big chunky collector's edition both in Europe and North America. You get music CDs, steel books, art books and such. Looks really nice and chunky. This game released to pretty much universal acclaim, saying it's just as good, if not better than the original. I know Juan loves the original, so I wonder what he thinks of this. Slave Zero X is a game I've briefly talked about in another video. I mentioned it as an import a few months back. Well, since then, a Western retail release has been confirmed, which is good news all round, because this looks utterly fantastic. And yes, that's entirely down to the 32-bit visuals, which I adore. I don't know if the gameplay is good, but it looks good, and the artwork is exceptional. I'm super looking forward to giving this one a spin. It's a side-scrolling action game, and it's releasing in late February. There's a collector's edition available as well. Apparently it's a sequel to a Dreamcast game, which I look forward to getting to over on A Bit More Jordan, where I am trying to complete every single Dreamcast game. South Park Snow Day is a cooperative action game deviating wildly from their hilarious and impeccably made RPGs. Sadly, this one is looking a bit more generic than Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole. However, I'm sure there's still going to be that sharp, edgy humor in there to pull people through the mildly standard looking action stuff. This is releasing in March. Touch Detective 3 Plus The Complete Case Files is a game I'm surprisingly looking forward to. Despite it being called 3, it actually also includes the first and second games in the series too. These were DS and 3DS games, point-and-click adventure games, which were awesome on those systems, great use of the gimmicks, and this includes all that stuff plus even more bonus episodes, really packed, and I will certainly be picking this up. And if you want to pick it up, or any of these in this video, please consider using the links in the description. You can purchase from Video Games Plus. That's a fantastic way to support us because they have good prices in cheap, favorable Canadian money. They also have cheap shipping, especially to the US, and even free shipping worldwide if you purchase over 80 Canadian bucks, which is about 60 US dollars. They have lots of great stuff over there, and they are my preferred way to pick up retail releases. Plus, if you purchase something via our link, then each week you will be in with the chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. I announce the winner of which every Monday. Shadows Over Loathing is the sequel to West of Loathing, a comedy role-playing game with stick figures. Both games are incredibly well received, and it's fantastic to see this one get a retail release unlike the first game, which was done by Limited Run. This is not just a one-note 2-hour game either, it's like a proper meaty 15-hour release. I hadn't realized it released digitally already. My finger is well off the pulse with eShop games, now I'm the physicals guy. But yes, I will certainly be picking this one up one day in the future. Sadly, it seems to be only available in North America. A Space for the Unbound is also getting a North American release, and it's from the same publisher, Serenity Forge. While you can order from VGP with the links below, they also have their own store with exclusive merchandise and even collector's editions and variations, so there are affiliate links for Serenity Forge's store too down below. And you'll find this one here. While this released physically in Japan last year, it's making its North American physical debut in March, and it is a wonderful game. Another brilliant adventure narrative game. Usually I find this stuff like artsy fartsy guffage, but not this one. This is a quality title put together with love, and it has, relatable characters and stuff. I highly recommend it if you haven't already imported it. Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash is a game a few people complain about me not putting in the big hitters video. Sorry, it's a Bandai game, it's anime, it flies over my head. And it's also a 2-on-2 fighting game, which I couldn't be less interested in, even if it had roguelike deck building in it. But I'm told, with authority, that people are excited about it. So I'm happy for you, and I'll take your word for it when it releases in February. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, sweep the board is a bit of a weird one. The Demon Slayer franchise now going Mario Party. At least that's what it looks like to me. Again, I'm not an anime guy, believe it or not, so I have no idea if this tonally fits with the series, but either way, I think the party board game is a lost genre pretty much these days. Sure, there's loads of indie games that are mostly bland, but when, a big publisher comes in and gives it a go, I am feeling hopeful, and this is releasing in April. Figment 1 and 2 is getting a physical release in Europe early this year. It's a Tessura game, so yeah, their release dates are more fluid than my bowel movements after eating too many raisins. This gives nice, decent value for 2 games that are about 5 hours long each. And they are lovely too. Beautiful art direction with nice music that goes along with the theme. There's going to be a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. Expeditions, a MUDRUNNER game, is one that's hard to really talk about because these games on the surface are incredibly boring and tedious to describe. I mean, you just drive a car over a bit of mud, and not particularly fast at that, but there's a methodical, entrancing nature to them that's not easy to see while the controller isn't in your hands. There's almost like a puzzle-like element to traversing the landscapes. You get into Zen mode, and somehow you become hopelessly addicted to driving on mud. This is releasing in March. Lonesome Village is one of Premium Edition Games' releases, one that I'm looking forward to seeing. This is not their usual type of game. This is the one that's been testing the waters to all the cozy farming sim fiends out there. You look meek and welcoming, but actually, you're flesh-eating sharks anytime one of these games pops up. I know you're all eager for this one. It's actually one of the more hidden gem types of this genre since not many people talk about it, there's not many reviews for it, but most who did play it really enjoyed it. And Premium Edition Games should be sending these out early this year. It's available on their website or via VGP with the links below. Both links support us. Anuchard is another one of theirs that they're in the middle of printing, but this one is more their usual style. They love their top-down Zelda-likes and I don't blame them. Actually, I've been told this is a bit more like the Quintet trilogy, like Terranigma, that sort of thing, which sounds ace. Why didn't anyone tell me that before? I plan on playing those for a bit more Jordan, and this indie game is trying to be something similar. Once again, you can get it via Premium Edition Games with their website to help the publisher directly, or you can get from VGP. Stonefly is being planned to release in April, only in Europe. This is an action-adventure game that's supposedly pretty great. Maybe the combat could have been tightened up a bit, but aside from that, you have a really vibrant experience that's especially easy on the eyes, which is great because the collector's edition comes with a 200-page art book. Perfect! Narita Boy may already have a physical release thanks to limited run games, but that was a couple of years ago. But Europe is now finally getting a retail release in March with a collector's edition and much cooler artwork. This is a really fantastic Metroidvania. I know Juan absolutely loved it when he did his review, and those that do love this genre will definitely want to pick this up if you don't have it already, although you might. And also just a quick mention to a couple of imports that are happening, announcements that appeared after I made the upcoming imports video. I thought I'd just squeeze them in here. If you click the link for these, you can also get 5% off with the code SWTV23, but the value needs to be higher than $30, just a heads up about that. El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron HD Remaster. Oh yeah, this is getting released in Japan in April with English. Although I do believe Limited Run will probably do this in North America, but forget those fools. This was a 360 action game. I never actually played it, but I remember seeing it all the damn time. So maybe now is the time I shall get to play it. There's even a collector's edition that's available too, but you might not want that since it has a drama CD, and that's in Japanese. Assault Suit Leynos 2 Saturn Tribute is, as the name tries to tell you, a game from the Sega Saturn. It's a side-scrolling mech game that never made it out of Japan, but this Japanese physical release is promised to have English, which is awesome news. I heard this is actually a bit balls hard, but of course it's a Saturn game, and it looks pretty badass, has nice cover art, and I will be adding this to my collection. And there we go, which ones will you be adding to your collection this year? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to check out more stuff, please check out the array of videos I've made in anticipation of 2024. We've got imports, we've got JRPGs, we've got the big hitters. Also check out my other channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me. If you like long retrospectives, or you like Dreamcast games or retro game stuff, yeah, just go check that out, I'm sure you'll love it.